Hey there, my name is Jaden, here for Armory, and today I'm celebrating a year on YouTube by looking back at the first full build guide I ever released. Check it out. So a little bit of background, because some of you just won't recognize this build, and that's because it was on a different channel. I was on a different channel that I no longer update, and I'm not even gonna link to it because you can see this video right here and you can see why I'm not gonna link to it. I really love doing this build though, and since doing this build, I've gone on to do a lot of other comic style things, including our recent Captain Fordo build. This thing turned out great, I had so much fun with it, and of course our recent collab with Diabolical Props. All of these builds, in my mind, are kind of continuations on what I started with the Blue Spirit mask. And today I just want to take a look back, because I've changed a lot as a YouTuber, as an editor, as a writer, and I think it's worth celebrating that I was not very good at this when I started. So let's dive right in.
Hey Jaden, what are you doing?
Oh God.
Jaden, what are you doing?
I used to film so much more on my phone, and it just doesn't look as good. Pro tip, if you've got a nice camera, even if it's kind of a pain in the butt to pull out the nice camera, pull out the nice camera.
Hello there, and welcome to the tutorial for the Blue Spirit mask. My name is Jaden, here for Armory, and I'm just
So once upon a time, I would release all of my templates as PDFs as well as PDOs, but I wouldn't include a reference, and much worse, I would print to PDF, but with the texture fully on it. So up until quite recently, if you wanted to download the PDF of this, it had all the blue ink on there, and you would have to print it out in full color, which is terrible. That's awful. I think as recently as the Captain Rex helmet, I had to fix this because somebody said that it completely just tanked the ink on their printer. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It should just be like a bunch of black lines, right? But it was full color. Even the parts that are like white were like gray, off gray, so it just tanked their printer. That's right, I started this video in the middle of getting a nice camera. So this is like the most garbage low-res footage, and what the heck is this subscribe button? It's not a subscribe button, it's just like an asset. This might be something I need to work on, because I think this might be the first time some of you have actually gotten a good, honest look at the tools that I'm using that aren't just links to my tools. Maybe I need to go through and do some new assets and go back to trying to show off the actual materials that I'm using. What is this background? Why is there a background here? Oh God, the transitions.
all the pieces. This can be done in a number of ways. I'm using Sharpies on foam, silver for black.
You know, I haven't changed that. I still tend to use a metallic Sharpie if I'm working on dark foam. And I still love to use lighter Sharpies more to darker Sharpies if I need to on lighter foams. I think the craziest thing about this is not just that it's the old desk, not just that it's the old apartment, not just that it's the old shop, but that I have since started, there's like an unwritten rule to my work, which is I try really hard to avoid shooting from like my waist down. I think it's just really unnecessary information for the most part. Like, it's taking up a lot of visual space here. Like, you can see my wallet, my old phone, and you know, there's just stuff here you don't need to see. You guys want to be right there on the bench. Even my old videos on the bench generally were just top down, and they were really tight shots, but you could see everything that was happening. This is just kind of a mess. Take care. I was so nervous on this first voiceover that my enunciation needed to be way over the top. Oh God, you gotta love how the voiceover was just clearly too long for all of that footage, and I didn't know what to do about it, so I just kept going and then started the new voiceover late. I used to do so much more sanding and cutting and gluing outside. There's a whole bunch of live streams from really early on the channel, especially Doom Invader, where I was just sitting outside on my little patio and gluing and cutting and terrible. It was the middle of summer, and then it came fall, and then it became totally infeasible at all. God, my shots used to be so much wider. Like, you can just see my dog Kia throughout this entire shot. And I don't even show how it all goes together. I completely cut away from it. Okay, so this is probably the most egregious part of this entire build. I slam cut to a lot of images without really showing what I was doing. You know, the image that's supposed to be finishing the gluing isn't finished gluing. The image that's sealing is really unclear what's going on. And then on the right you can see it says I've done the plastic dip, but there's still a bunch of sealing going on there. And it's all really blurry. Like, super blurry. There's no consistency. You know what the craziest part about this is? It winds up looking like I made 3 different masks and took 3 different photos of them for some reason.
Until we're all done and
Just
everything
totally
is nice
static
and
shot.
smooth
Wow.
and shiny.
Oh my god.
That'll bring us to paint. Alright, so sometimes in the middle of the night,
Oh
the
man.
urge
Oh
strikes
man.
you. And so you just start painting without turning your camera on. We're very
A nice shot of my very disorganized closet for some reason.
progress on the Blue Spirit mask. A lot of that filling really paid off. I cannot.
See, this is the real problem with filming on my phone, which I don't tend to do a lot anymore if I don't need to. I'll take nice photos with my phone, but your phone tends to go places with you that have bad lighting conditions. So if you go, oh, I'm just gonna take a little video with my phone, it's probably gonna look a lot worse than everything else. Not just because, you know, your phone might not be the nicest camera in the world, but also because you're taking it places that aren't really made for filming. You should just take your things, make sure you have your camera set up, and film it if you want to film it. Because this is really hard to see what's going on. It's just blue and ugh. Okay, so I completely glossed over this for some reason, which is I masked off for all of the white highlights, but what's completely ignored in this shot is the bottle of mustard in the background, which was used. Like, I used that for a reason, because you can mask using things like mustard, toothpaste. I just found out on dish soap. And the reason I did that is because it's really hard to do the groove up against the teeth there. So I just smeared mustard along there and then wiped it away across the teeth. But I don't even mention that. It's just a bottle of mustard in the background. And I didn't go into why it's there. It's just there. Oh, that's a terrible photo. It's like bleed in weird places, and it's not. There's like a light artifact in the middle of it. This is awful. Oh man, how did this get any views when I first made it? See, this I think is the best decision of the whole build. I wasn't really sure how to make it look really top-notch. Started looking back and forth between the references I was using and the final mask and some other people who had attempted to make this mask in the past, and I realized a lot of things from big blocky cartoons like Atla and anime in general just don't look great as real objects. They have to look like cartoons that I'm holding in real life. And so cell shading was really the way to go. And I don't think I indicated on this, but this is like a chalk pen that I used to mark this out, because the acrylics just covered over it perfectly and it was great. But this is again another example of me for some reason using my phone. For some reason. I'm so glad I have my nice cameras now. I work on a pair of Canon M50s, for anybody who doesn't know. They're really nice cameras. They're great entry-level cameras if you ever want to get into stuff like this. So I totally encourage you to check them out. There we go. Oh, you can tell I learned how to cut out the background of photos right about now. Just so that I could stick this in here. But it's still so hard to see because this background is not great contrast for this. Oh god, but I am really, really quite happy with how this thing turned out. I love it. From the details on the nose there, to the added depth on the eyes, this is just one of my favorite builds.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this guy.
Oh man. This was like deep quarantine time. I hadn't been shaving. I hadn't had a haircut in a while. And I was just in my lazy shirt. You can see my kitchen in the background. I seem to have spent the time to put the Pepakira on the background, like I've created a nifty background for myself, but I also look like garbage.
I definitely went through and did white highlights with a spray, and frankly, I can't advise that. Not even a little.
Hot take. I was wrong here. As much as I do hate masking off to do any type of secondary color, white is virtually impossible to get a flat coat of. So if you're not spraying it on, you're gonna have a hell of a time. If you wanted to do base white, brush on blue, that could probably work pretty well. But this is just me completely misunderstanding layers, and I just really, that's right, and I completely don't show the act of adding a strap to the back of this thing. I just kind of say after the fact that I did it. And that's a problem, if for no other reason than the strap actually helped it maintain its shape. Like, part of the reason those earlier photos look so bad is because the mask is super splayed out, looks really like chubby cheeked, and that's because it's not being pulled in like the mask should be. So this is just webbing and a buckle. You can get these at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, craft stores everywhere, and it's just hot glued in. But it's so important, and I just didn't paint the inside of the mask, and that was such a big problem.
Gets the chance to win this. That's right, we're gonna be giving this guy away.
And that's right, I gave this mask away, and somebody I knew from college wound up winning it. It was such a small pool of people, but it was super fun to give this mask away. This is not the only thing I've given away since starting the channel, and frankly, we're overdue for a new one. We passed 1,000 subscribers, and but this mask was so much fun to give away, and I realized I really like giving away this stuff when I can. This was really fun to give away. I didn't mention till the very end that the templates were available for free. You would spend the whole video looking for it, and it's in the description. It's gonna be in the description of this video, but if you're gonna make one of these for yourself, the templates are gonna be down below in the description. Oh my god, I waited until now to say it too. Oh, I've learned nothing. God, my music used to be so much more mellow. Like, just way more mellow. My graphics were worse, but the music was really mellow. Oh, man. Well, that was really something. Oh, man, a year in, and this has gotten way more exciting, way more interesting, and I've just learned a lot more. I try to be more detailed in my descriptions. I try to take nice videos of all the things that I do. I try to add more angles, and of course I do all my live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays trying to show people how to do it. I'm so grateful that during this time I've been able to connect with a broader community of people and to build some really cool stuff. And I want to thank you all for being here while I've done that. And of course, there's going to be links down below to all my free templates that we've released this year. And I just want to thank you all so much for being here. For now, I've been Jaden, here for Foam Armory. Take care.